Hello, hi everybody. This is PJ on the 28th of March 2020, Saturday evening here in Australia time. If you've got anything you'd like to ask, any questions, please put them forward because we're going to give you some updates. And we're also going to go into the next part of this mini training, mini Pillar Code program that we are putting people through, because it is all about holding your resilience as the wave of truths are coming down the line. Now, those who've been listening to this for years will think that I feel like I sound like a broken record on this, but we have been telling you and warning waves of truth are going to come into the planet. And when you felt like you were getting truths about 10, 12 months ago coming through into various sectors of your community, we were saying to you, this is absolutely the tip of 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 the iceberg, that you're going to see these truths coming through. Now, some more layers of these truths are starting to be revealed. This particular situation where people are either in a forced lockdown or voluntary lockdown is another part of that layer. You must trust in yourself. You must trust in the work that you've done, your consciousness. You must trust in your ability to be able to lift your vibration. Everybody who is watching this will be someone who is actually already connected into some form of waking up, some form of consciousness, some form of meditation, higher vibration, higher health regimes, and so on. Those who are listening, just for the fact that you're even connecting in here, you have started that growth of consciousness, and good on you, because this is now putting you in good stead. Unfortunately, all those who haven't started that growth of consciousness are going to be the ones who are going to be more stuck in their fear and their anger and their confusion about what the hell is going on. So we are going to ask you, draw really, really deeply into your new learning. Please draw really, really deeply into your higher vibration consciousness. Please draw into that calm state and that peace state, because there is a very, very good reason for all of this happening. So we're going to look at the next part of our information that we're going to deliver to you. We have in this particular 12-part little program series, live streams, decided to take you through what practitioners, pillar practitioners, learn to do on a much deeper level and a much more powerful healing level for their clients. So what we're doing here in this 12-part series is taking you through an overview, and therefore some healing and some clarity, some information, some training, some connection, and opportunity for Q&A, literally using the Pillar Code model. If you are new to this channel, welcome, hello. We recommend that you go back and have a look at the first parts of this series at some point. Each of these live streams are a message and a healing and a connection and training and teaching in its own right. But when you look at the 12-part series with this, it actually form like chapters in the book that connect through. And it's incredibly important that you literally do part 1 and move your way through to where we are now and where we are continuing to be. As my gifts, this is the way that I know how to actually support and help, and I have given my my promise that I will actually be on here every day that you guys are seeking it. So this is what I can do. I am now sharing with you what I have been receiving and what's been delivered over the last 8 years. And this particular training information is showing you parts of this, because it is the waking up, it's the awareness, it's the conscious movement of moving forward. It is about the revolution of truth. Make no mistake, this is a revolution. Some are calling it a war. If it's a war on darkness. But let's put it in the positivity. Let's call it a revolution of consciousness. This is a revolution. Fly the flag of consciousness. Fly that flag of lifting, because we are asking you to maintain the positive element from what is coming from this. Please do not buy into the fear mongering and that past old domination energy from what we are moving away from. If you are moving into the fear and yet you are calling yourself conscious, you are going to be pulling yourself back. If you are moving into the anger, but you are calling yourself evolved, you're going to be pulling yourself back. This is where the rubber hits the road, guys. This is where the rubber hits the road. What have you been working towards for all this time? Where have you been lifting yourself? Where have you been calling out the BS for what it is and getting it out of your life, getting it out of your energy, getting it out of your body? This is the time that you can actually have the clarity to move yourself forward, because the world feels like it's going into confusion. It isn't. It's actually going into clarity. Please be aware of that, and please have that information so you can take this forward, and we will explain what we mean. All right, so what we are going to explain to you is we have taken you through that original Fix-It list, the part 1 of this 12-part series. That is, get the list out in your life that's broken. What shit do you need to get fixed in your mind, in your body, in your life, in your business, in your finance, in your relationships, and so on? And then have a look at the world. If you were ruler for the day, and you could get one thing sorted, what would it be? One thing. Is it starvation? Is it inoculations and the misinformation around it? Is it the banking system? Is it the environment? Is it pollution? Is it the animal kingdom's suffering? Is it distinct species? Is it the molestation of children? Is it the evil realm that is the undercurrent of the world? What is it? What is it? And we don't mean to overwhelm you, but there is something that's burning a passion within you to solve. So look at that one thing. What is the one thing? And therefore you have to trust that other leaders will be helping sort the other things that are going on in the world. So have a look at the Fix-It list. What is the world requiring for this Fix-It list? Because this is the time that this Fix-It list is going to come to the fore. And we ask you to think outside the box. We ask you to get bigger and bigger and bigger than Ben-Hur with this. Really take yourself up into a higher vibration. You literally do a lifting exercise. You're lifting from your chair, you're lifting from your lounge room, you're lifting from your house, you're lifting from your street, from your suburb, into your surroundings, into your city, into the space, into the universe, into the consciousness, into the collective of one, of all, of love, of creation. And then start to look back down. Don't come back down, but look back down at the planet. And what is it that you are seeing these vermin, these cockroaches doing to society, doing to Mother Earth, doing to the inhabitants on here? What is it that gets under your skin so much that you're going, enough is enough? We must seek the truth on this and stop blinkering ourselves and get the clarity on this about how we move forward, because there will be something that really, really ignites your passion. What is it? So then we moved you through to pillar 1. Pillar 1 is the pillar of peace. The contrast of that is the absolute stress. You can only be in the contrast and the crippled with fear and anger and burden if you allow this stress to impact you. So stick with the pillar 1 of peace, that calmness, and that moves yourself into the absolute belief of life manifesting through, rather than the absolute doubting of life and creating the negative manifestation. We moved you through then into the pillar 2 of love, the contrast of fear, what most people are experiencing at the moment. They're being asked to raise their fear. We're saying the opposite. Raise your love. That is then lifting your joy, and that's lifting your immunity system. We then went on to the pillar 3, the pillar of connection. You are being asked to disconnect. You are asked to isolate, to disconnect from everyone and everything that you know and love. We ask the opposite. Stay in your isolation, but connect. This is your greatest form and the greatest way to connect. Connect to the ultimate. Connect into the high being of yourself, and you'll find the ultimate in your connection. And when you look at the connection, that goes into the absolute, the confidence of life rather than being in the despair and so on. We then took you through pillar 4, which is the balance of life, like balancing everything back. You are being forced into balance at the moment. If you've been a workaholic, bad luck, you've been forced into balance at the moment. What has been going on in your life that you are being forced back into balance? Because this is the strength of this pillar. As you walk through these universal stepping stones through the pillar code, you are connecting into the strength and the resilience of life. And if you are not in your balance, you are in your imbalance, you're in your vulnerability and your weakness. So lift it, connect to it. This is your opportunity to see where in your life you can reconnect your balance. We then went into our fix it list again, which we call in the pillar code. These are our preps, our progress, our repair and energy pillars. This is where we have a look at everything that's going on. And by the time you get to that point in your prep 2, most of that fix it list will be completely being dissolved and annihilated, and you will be lifting into your higher version of yourself, and you'll be having far more clarity on what it is you're seeking to work on next. Then we are at today. Today is about our pillar 5. Pillar 5 is the pillar of purity versus impurity. Now we're going to have a look at this in a world sense first about what is going on. Purity versus impurity. In a soul sense, in an action sense, it is the clarity versus confusion. And then as each pillar has a body reaction to the pillar where you are sitting, this is your biochemistry. This is the pH levels. This is what's happening in internal organs around your system. So have a look what is happening around the world. There is an impure source that's been placed on the planet, an impure virus that is there collectively being spread around to give the greatest fear through its impurity. It is creating confusion about what is happening, and it is placing the physical form in a biochemistry dysfunction. Does this make sense to you? This is the pillar of purity, and when we're not in our purity, we're in impurity. This is the pillar of clarity. When you're not clear, you're in confusion. This is the pillar of the strength and the immunity and the resilience of your biochemistry within your form, your physical form, your function, the vessel that you were put into so you could go about your journey in this world. So when you are not in your purest state, not in the healthiest biochemistry state and with clarity, you are literally in your impurity. You've got a lack of reserves in your biochemistry. It's out of balance. And then your body is confused. Your mind is confused. Your decision making is confused. And your life is confused. If you are feeling a sense of confusion at the moment, then that is because you are sitting over into the contrast side, not the pillar side of this particular universal platform as you go through the universal stepping stones of the pillar code. So please make sure that when you are feeling confusion, you understand that you have flipped out of the pillar side or the consciousness side or the resilience side or the peace side, and you have moved into the shadow side of a pillar. And so the confusion is your awareness to stop. 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 The confusion is your awareness to stop. Please have a look at what is happening in your world now. You have been gifted, like it or not, the requirement, the time, the space to stop. You may feel it's been enforced. You may feel that people have controlled you into this. You may feel that it is of no decision of yours. But the actual action of this, the result is that you can pause and you can stop and see what it is you're confused about. So please place up here on these questions, what is something that you're confused about? And we will help you with this. What is something that you're really confused about? Some people are saying, when is it ending? I want to know the ending. I want to know the time. Now, we can give you some timings, but then you will work towards those timings rather than sitting in a situation to your advantage and making the most of that situation. We will tell you that this will come through and it will clear relatively quickly, more quickly than what you're being told. And then there will be a pause, and we will tell you, only for you're forewarned, that it will come back again. It's going to come back a second time. It's already in the planning, it's already there, so don't fight it. Be aware, be conscious, and have that understanding that you're getting a second opportunity to reassess, because we will tell you, as the human consciousness goes into its lack of memory and it goes into its goldfish equation of how it circles around the goldfish bowl, and it forgets and it remembers, and it forgets and it remembers, and it forgets and it remembers. What will happen, this will come back, and then you will remember again until you get your consciousness lifted, and until you lift this into that higher vibration of being in control of where you are. This is not to scare you, this is to forewarn you, just like if the internet does go down in your area. So what are you confused about? What are you looking at? Are you confused about what to do in this period of time? Are you confused about what you are meant to be doing in this period of time? Are you confused about why this has happened? Are you trying to work this out in your head? What does this mean? Is this the end of the world as we know it? What is your confusion on here? Because as soon as you are honest about your confusion, then you will seek the clarity to move forward and move forward into the next pillar and the next progression, because each pillar is like these universal modules of higher consciousness. And not until you get that module of that pillar, really get it, will you then accomplish that understanding and that lifting and the benefit of the higher consciousness pillar that follows. So we are talking about pillar 5, and it's the pillar of purity versus impurity. You are focusing on the impurity that's in the world. You are focusing on the virus, which is throwing up that impurity. You are focusing on the fear, and that is confusing you. So therefore, the shadow is winning out if you're confused and you're focusing on the impurity. We say to you, as we have said for so many years, for thousands and thousands and thousands of hours, that has been channeled through, recorded, dictated, live, on tape, recorded in paper, recorded in books, and so on. What we have said to audiences and to training and to retreats and at presentations, we have said. What we are delivering to you, we are saying again. Truth is coming out. This is a good thing. Be clear about this. Be really, really clear about this. Receive the truth from the information that is already out there. Receive the truth that is literally in front of your eyes, and stop listening to and buying into what you are being told. Take that on and then research it yourself and see what you find. This is the world using impurity to confuse the population. And at the end of this, when you understand purity, the purity will then lift into clarity. You can look at the confusion as in listening to leaders that will be telling you to do things that are the contrary to what you are choosing or what you are thinking is right for you. At this time of confusion, the masses can go into looking back to leaders to guide them and listening to things that don't even fit inside the scope of truth. Please be truth seekers. Please be clear on your mission here. Please keep your sense in the highest version and the highest level that you can. Please live in purity. Please be in your purest sense physically. Start looking after your mental health, your physical health, your emotional health, your spiritual health, your family health, your work health, your purpose health, and so on. Make sure that you are living in your purest form. What are you doing or not doing in your life that you know you can no longer accept? What are you doing? You are here to lift your immunity. You are here to be the highest vibration of yourself and to propel you and your journey forward, and to have the clarity to take the next step. And when you can get this step, when you can get pillar 5, the pillar of purity and the clarity, only then will you be propelled into the next pillar, which we'll speak of tomorrow, and that is the pillar of experiencing to lead you to your purpose. So many people ask all the practitioners, what is my purpose? Get this pillar right and the clarity will propel you towards that purpose. This is crucial at this point in time. So look at the world, look at what confusion is coming up, and seek your purity, seek your clarity. Pillar 5 is also about what impurities are going to be forced upon the population from this particular event. Please be aware of what is coming down the line now. There will be information that will come down the line where they are saying, for your own good, we have to deliver this impure law or these impure inoculations or this impure way of living for your own good. Please watch out for it. It is coming. It is coming, because this is one of the last bastions to control the community. But if you are lifting into your highest vibration, if you're lifting into your highest consciousness, you will understand the illusion for what it is. And that is simply the illusion to confuse the community, so the community look to particular leaderships to lead them into their control. Speaking about this particular pillar, any type of a stimulant is not going to be great for your physical biochemistry, whether that be coffee or alcohol or drugs. One of the worst drugs on the planet is sugar. If you would like to get yourself off the high of anxiety and keep yourself literally level during this time, go on a sugar detox. What else is in your life that you have got the impurities embedded in your cellular form that you feel you cannot do without? A little bit hours, days, not sure what that means. How do we keep our families who aren't at the same awareness as us from bringing in the fear of the world into our homes? That is the constant conundrum of you who are living a slightly higher consciousness than some others that may be. You are going to use all your strength to keep yourself at that higher vibration, because the law of physics will actually try and balance everything back into the equilibrium of the average of all. So if the average of all is sitting at a fear point and you are sitting above the fear point, connect into people who are above that fear point, i.e. your tribe, i.e. people who can and help you lift your consciousness vibration as much as possible. So when you tap back into that fear and that negativity and that loathing and that anger and so on, you understand that that's the exception, not the norm. Stay at your high vibration. That is your normal. That is not the exception. Any other fly the flag of light? Absolutely. 2020 vision in the year of 2020. We said when 2020 was moving into this year, we actually said this is going to be the year of vision. We said if you go back on any of those early messages in the early days of January, we've spoken about this. If you listen back, we have spoken exactly about what this situation is and what it's presenting. We spoke about how it's going to be the clarity of the century. This is literally a once in a century and more situation that is coming up, because there is a rebooting, there's a recalibration of the universe and everybody in it. And we spoke at length about that in yesterday's delivery. Question: do we need to go and research and dig into the truth of some of these issues? What it's doing makes us angry, or what it's doing is make you angry or fearful. If you can research and keep it into your highest vibration of being excited that you're getting the truth, then maintain that and just go as far as you can with that. If it is getting to the point where it takes you into fear and anger, you stop at that point, because it's doing the exact opposite of what you're seeking. You're seeking the truth in the highest consciousness and the highest vibration that you can accept at any given time. We will tell you that the channel can only go so far with hearing about all the pedophilia cases, because as soon as the fear kicks in and the anger kicks in, it has to repel her back. And we do not want people going into the darkness and to the fear. You must look at this as the excitement of truth. And as soon as you get to that edge, and you will know your edge, and you will know which buttons are the ones that will push you. As soon as you get to that edge, you stop and you absorb that information. It means that you've taken the information on, you can research it, you can calibrate it, you can actually get your equilibrium on it, recheck it and recheck it from other sources. Don't just listen to one source. Make sure you're researching in an accurate sense. Don't listen to mainstream media, because that has its own vibration to it. Literally be truth seekers, but stop at that element where it starts to move you into fear or anger. And you will know this because it will start depleting your energy. Stay as truth seekers, but stay in your higher vibration, your higher consciousness with this. And then little bit by little bit, the positive will be revealed. Now, many people ask this channel all the time about the information of the darkness, of the information about why this is out here. Was it from the animal kingdom? No. Was it biochemically created? Yes. Was this accidentally sent out to the world? No. Was this on purpose sent out to the world? Yes. Did this come from one source? No. Has this come through some multiple channels into the population? Yes. Will you get all of this information in 3, 4, 5, 6 months, and it will go out to the public? Yes. Will people desperately try and stop this information getting out there? Yes, and so on. We can tell you these pieces of information, but our mission here is to lift your consciousness. Our mission here is to express consciousness of love, of consciousness of that vibrational movement, of consciousness of healing the planet, which is why we delivered the pillar code for the planet, to help the consciousness lift, to help the vibration lift, to help maintain that higher vibrational form, because it covers the mind healing, the body healing, the soul healing, and the holistic life journey healing. So we are here to help you lift. We understand that you have to have an acceptance and an awareness and the truth about what has happened, why it's happening, where it's coming from. But our mission here is about the positive. The mission here is about the solution, not the problem. Please have just enough information to understand what the problem is, and then stop. Then focus on the solution. What is the solution here? The solution is the purity of life, pillar 5. It is the clarity of life, the soul expression of pillar 5. It is the purity of the biochemistry and lifting your biochemistry into the highest vibration possible, because then you will not be receptors to the strains that are coming around, because there are multiple strains, and within the strain of the virus there are multiple virus connectors within that. So when you have a look at what is happening, the more you can lift your consciousness, your vibration, your immunity, your connection the more you have that immunity to it, and every country will actually have a particular vibration around it, and you will see which ones have started this on a lower vibration, and so therefore it's going to affect them more. Which countries have actually been depleted, which countries were actually in a fragile state and are actually have been really, really targeted by this. What other countries have more of a resilient manner, or more of a lifted vibration? It could be their higher consciousness, it could be their faith, it could be the purity and their absolute understanding of life, and so on. So you will actually see at the end of this, and we don't expect you to understand this now, but at the end of this, there will be statistics that will show you all of this information, and you can look at where elements and pockets of the community have been affected and connected because of what had happened in the beginning. So if you're keeping up with this, gold stars, but we're going to explain this to you. Pillar 1, the pillar of peace, when that topples, you are in your stress. So when you are in your stress, you had to be stressed first. And I mean stressed as a community. I mean stressed as a nation, not just stressed because you've got kids and washing and bills. When you're constantly, eternally stressed, that stress is then lowering your immunity. That had to have happened first, for then the contrast of pillar 2 to come through with fear. And that fear is the lower vibration of your cellular form, lower immunity. That then disconnects you. So we are in shadow of pillar 1, shadow of pillar 2, shadow of pillar 3. First has to be stress, and then it moves into fear, and then it moves into a disconnect. So you'll understand that the coding that we've delivered through is showing you the order in which something will happen. The channel will be able to tell you at any given point of time, which she can tell any business and any individual, and now all the pillar practitioners can utilize this, and the pillar practitioners can tell every single person exactly what is happening to them, why it happened, and what's about to happen when they shift themselves into their positive, and so on. So what is happening here, these big areas had to have been in stress first, to move themselves easily into fear, which is disconnecting them, throwing their balance out, taking them into being affected by the impurity of universe, which is what we're speaking about today, the pillar 5. The remedy of this, and please go back on all the sessions we've done. The remedy of this is understand that you can lift out of your stress and be the resilience in your peace. You can move out of fear and back into love. You can move out of your disconnect and back into your connection. Move out of being in balance, back into balance. Move out of being in the impure sense and back into that pure sense. You can do this. You have the ability, you can calm yourself, you can be in control, and you can be consciously aware to lift your confidence. You can do this. You can do this, and you can do this. All right, question. I want to help so many, but feel I can't charge for my services at this time. With so many losing their income, I feel guilty about this. How can I work around this? You're looking in the lack. You are looking into the lack of this. So what has happened in the community? Now we're speaking about pillar 5 today. What has happened in the community? People have had choices about where they've spent their money. People have had choices. They have had income. Some have had high incomes, some have had medium incomes, some have had incredibly low incomes, and everybody has had a choice. Within this particular country, they have shown that it is guided, that anybody above that 80 to 85,000 mark, and this is in Australian dollars, anyone who is above that, their happiness does not expand the more that they're paid above that 85 or 87,000 per year per annum. So they could be 300,000, they're no happier than someone on 80,000. So what we're saying to you is that regardless of a situation, people have been paid, and people have had money situations and choices in their past. Some people have lost their jobs. Some people are suffering so terribly financially at the moment. But when you are sitting there and you are choosing to lift people, the worst thing that you can do is be one who then goes and suffers financially yourself as well. we say gift and gift and gift, and give to all those that are incredibly grateful for it, and have an exchange. Make sure there is an exchange. It doesn't have to be a dollar exchange, but you must keep your value high. You must keep your energy high, because it is no good if you go out there and be the Mother Teresa for the world and help everybody, and then you crash and burn. Then you can help nobody else. There is money in the community, and you are led to believe there is not. This is not the case. There are employers who can support their staff. There is government packages that can support their staff. There is access to income through philanthropists that can support the community. There are people who are choosing to actually change their way of spending. A lot of these people had, we're speaking about people with income. They had flights cancelled, holidays cancelled, face augmentation cancelled, all sorts of things in their life. They have chosen to put their money down into particular areas of their life. You know, the latest fridge, or the latest car, and so on. There has been choices about where people place their money. It is now absolutely crucial to only work with those who choose to place their money in their health and their healing. If someone is prioritizing the latest version of a car over their absolute mental, physical, emotional, spiritual, and life health, then they're not the people that we're asking you to work with. We are asking you to work with those who are truly, genuinely, have been, not just at this point in time crisis, but have been going, we would like to actually put our money into the embetterment of ourselves and our children and our family and our communities. And you will find a way to actually support those who are just waking up and haven't got the finances for it. But don't buy into the lack, because you will then become the lack. The best thing you can do for the poor is not be one yourself. Lift and heal and be grateful. And the more that you receive, the more you'll be able to give. The more you receive, the more you will be able to give. And that goes for all of you. The more you receive, the more you will be able to give. Keep your value high, your vibration high, your connection high, and gift to the planet with the openness of consciousness that the universe will come through and support the payments. We hope that answers your question. You said the internet would go down for a little bit. Does that mean days or weeks? No, it is more likely that the internet will go down for hours or days, not weeks. But the fear will be as if you've lost your right arms, left arms, big toes, and your tongue. It will create a huge panic if you don't have an awareness on it. It could literally, and you think about it, all it needs to go down for enough is that it creates fear. Now that could be 10 minutes. If it creates pandemonium across the board, across the country, across the globe, and it's not going to all go down at once, it'll actually shut down in certain sectors around the planet. And we've shown you before through the bushfires, it's like a clockwise situation that this sort of happens. It's just enough to create the fear, because it'll be the confusion. It'll create confusion. This is this pillar that we're speaking about. Stay in your clarity. Stay in your higher consciousness. The time, if the internet does go down in your local area for, it'll be a short period of time. If it does go down, we're going to ask you, use this to connect to the true internet of the universe. Use this to connect to the highest form. Go into your meditation state. Know that without all of that energetic chaos around your lives, all of those imaginary chaos that is within your homes, that is going through your bodies, that is in your workplaces, that is the best time for you to actually connect into the highest vibration and that source. That is your home. That is your original home. Use it as a gift if it comes through. Use it as a gift. We are just saying this so it doesn't create more fear and panic for anyone watching here. You'll know it's a blessing. It will come back very quickly. We hope that answered your question. Okay, so let's do some coding on this pillar 5. We're actually going to look at where you are up to in your journey of life at the moment. So write down the number from 31 to 39. 31 to 39. Okay, now we will explain this again because we haven't explained this for a while. As we are doing the coding, what is happening is we are asking your subconscious, unconscious for the information. You have no idea. Even all the pillar practitioners on here, the highly trained, attuned, licensed pillar practitioners, they don't know what template I just asked you for then. They don't know what information that is about to be delivered. There are multiple templates that is used within the pillar code, and so we deliver the question to the channel and deliver the template, and so there's numerous possibilities of question versus template versus answer. It's literally hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of different options that this could actually be for which template this is connecting to. So this is your unconscious, who literally goes instantly up, gets the number straight away, comes back down. We deliver the message for you. All we ask you is, does that make sense? That is it. Does that make sense? And you will understand. And time again, those who've been listening to us do this, those who've been connecting in, those who've been aware of all this, every time we say, does this make sense? It is more for you. Does it make sense for you? Because you'll understand that you have got the ability to connect into here. You've got the consciousness to connect into the answers. And it's just that you need a pillar practitioner to actually be able to explain what those answers are and help with your connection to the healing of that particular information. So what we just asked you then, what we just coded then, is linking into this particular pillar 5, the pillar of purity versus impurity, clarity versus confusion. We are seeking, what stage of life are you up to in the universal stepping stone, the universal spiral staircase, lifting and lifting and lifting and lifting? What level are you on? Now, level 9 is not better than level 1, because following level 9, the next step is level 1. Following level 1 is 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6, 7, 8, 9, and taking it back up. And 1 could be that you are starting on another higher level consciousness. So there is no winning, there is no losing, there is no lower vibration consciousness, there's no higher vibration. It just is. It is like spiral staircases, running around and seeing where you are. And as long as you're progressing in the pillar side, moving forward, you're constantly moving up. If you're in the shadow side, you will be unraveling and coming back down. So it is about seeing where you are at that point in time. Please listen to the messages before your numbers, the messages after your numbers, because the messages before your numbers is where you have been. The messages after your numbers is where you are going. If you are in the contrast side, you will be then going back down those numbers. So example, if you got 4, make sure you listen to what 1 and 2 and 3 are, because you've just gone through that. It could have taken years, it could have taken months, you've been through it. Your message will be on 4, but where you're going next is 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 and 9 and so on. So please listen to all the coding. If you have just joined, we have asked you for a number from 31 to 39 and are about to explain what that coding means. So 31. This is saying you've reached a new foundation. This is like when you're building a house, you must spend most of the time on the foundations, on the planning, on getting the strategy right and working out what it is that you're doing. You are coming back into that foundation. And what that means is clear the stress, come back into your peace and have the foundations of life, the foundations of where you're living, who are you living with, what is it that you're doing in life and work, where are your values, where do you choose to be going? Are you really starting to have eyes open, get back to your foundation? That was 31. If you had 32 then is the stabilization phase, and this is like the legs, the 2 legs, number 32. So it's where do you require to stabilize things? What's toppling? What's out of balance? And you just need to stabilize Things are there, they've been built, but you need to stabilize it now. Stabilize your situation or your finances or your relationship or something. It's not about clearing it out. It's not about starting again. Stabilizing it. Get your life back into stability. If you then got 33, 33 is then about the activation. So the activation is once you've got your foundation and stabilization, now you can activate it. Once you've got the stilts on, you can actually now start activating what is going on. So that means you've done the work, you've done the foundation, you've got the stabilization. Start going into activation. This is now starting to put things in place. You can actually, if you had an idea, if you've had some thoughts, you start to activate it. Get more action going, and you'll understand where you've been and where you're moving to. 4 is then the expansion. So once you've actually got your foundation, your stabilization, you're starting to have your activation. 4 is then now you can start to expand that idea. It's not a new idea, but it's an expansion of an idea. It could be expanding in your love space. It could be expanding in your business, or expanding in your thoughts or your ideas, expanding in your projects that you are doing. So this is the expansion of life. If you've got 35 on this one, 35 is ownership, and this is linked to the message that we've delivered today. This is all around ownership. Just start owning your life, owning your faults, owning what's not working, owning what you've done really well, owning where your skill sets are, owning where you'd like to be in your purpose and your journey. Just owning it, positive and negative. Own it. Own up to it and step forward into it, because it's your time literally to start to shine with this one. If you've got 36, 36 is then the mastery. You've done your foundation, your stabilization, your activation, and you've actually owned it. You've worked hard, you've owned it, and now you're getting to mastering something. And we say, you can go through all the teachings of learning how to play a piano, the foundations of the chords of the piano. Start stabilizing where you actually are playing. And then you can have your activation, actually start creating little songs. And then you can expand your repertoire into bigger songs. And then you own it. Like you can play the piano, you own it. You feel like you can do it. But 36 is about mastering it. Now get the fine tuning. Whatever you're doing in your work or your relationship, your finances, your thought, start mastering what it is, and you'll actually start understanding that you can actually then be the student of where you are, but you now become the teacher. And as you become the teacher, that's when you actually really become the student again. So this is the student-teacher connection in 36. 37 is your self-awareness. So 37 is going, you've mastered something. Now get into self-awareness. What now? I've just mastered, it could be a whole career. You've just mastered it. But what now? Where's my self-awareness? Where am I going? Where am I connecting? What do I enjoy about something? What don't I enjoy about something? What am I good at? And what am I really not good at? Self-awareness, it's going within. Mastery is going out to the world and singing like an opera on a stage. And self-awareness is coming back in. It's internal, going, reflecting. If you got 38, it's just the stage of discovery. So after you've gone internal to reflect, you're going to come out like a new little rosebud, and you're going to discover the world again with new eyes, and you're going to have eyes wide open to this. So it's discovering new things for you. It's more of an experimental, it's exciting, you've done all the work, it's there, seeing what's out there in the world. And then if you've got 39, 39 is a stage of conclusion. You're really in a stage of concluding something to begin it again. It is the finalization. It could be concluding an old attitude or an old value system or an old poor me or an old mastering. It could be concluding a job, some friendships, but it's a conclusion of something, because the 9 will propel you onto to the next level as you come back up to the level 1 again, which is your foundation. They all interlinked and they all spiral up, or they all connect down. So this is one of the templates we call stages. What stage are you up to? And link this into the information of today. Where are you really going in life? This is a time for you to reflect. This is a time for you to literally take stock of your life. Please utilize this. Please make the most of this, because the more you can connect in, the more work you can do on yourself at this time, the less you'll be controlled, the less you'll be in fear, the less you'll be in anger about the situation, because you're actually taking the reins. Take the reins on life. Connect in and see what stage you're up to. Have a listen back or write it back down, or clients, please contact. I'm going to say this every time. It's so important to contact your pillar practitioners and make sure you keep going on your programs. They will be able to explain it, because there's so much more information on this than we can get across to you now, because it is literally telling you where you've been, where you are now, but where you are heading. And if you are heading on an upward trajectory, that is brilliant. But if you're actually starting to shadow and contrast and come back down, you'll be going backwards and reflecting back down, which is not the way that we need you to be. We need you to be in your calmness, in your absolute control, and your total confidence. We have had a lot of people contacting, saying they love the sound that we're about to do the next pillar practitioner training online. Thank you for all those who have connected to me, and sorry if I haven't got back to you yet. I absolutely will. Literally, as soon as we get the first group of intake, it's applicants, application only. As soon as we approve the next group of applicants, we will be starting that online practitioner training. So if you are interested in the pillar practice as a business, let me know, because it's, we can have a chat and see if it's right for you to apply. If anyone is struggling, reach out. And I know a lot of you are, and it's wonderful to have that connection. Reach out to your practitioners, reach out to your family or friends. Make sure you keep that vibration. And just as I had someone connect on me this evening, it was just lovely to actually be thought of and like, asking how I am, rather than, seeking all of that guidance and that support, because it can be really quite energy zapping for me to do this all the time. But I absolutely love it, and I'll be here each day to deliver whatever I can. So let me know if there's anything else you'd like to hear or know or do, because we are here to keep you on that high vibrational side, on that consciousness side, reminding you that these are just truths, and reminding you there are going to be more truths, a lot more truths that we've spoken about coming out into community. But these are all good, because it's shining a light on the cockroaches of life, and this is a really good way to lift and to be the highest vibrational force that you can, because the world is moving, the world is shifting. And make no mistake about this is a good thing. Keep your truth up. Unfortunately, you have been allowing tens and hundreds of thousands of people to be dying from germ-ridden viruses like influenza every single year of your life. It's just this one has been highlighted. It's been highlighted for a very good reason. It's been highlighted for both a shadow side and for a light side. It is there to control, but it is also there to help lift the consciousness. This is a revolution. Lift into the high vibration of it. Hold that frequency and enjoy the ride. And you will have amazement of what you're going to be like at the other end of it. So if there are no more questions, we will bid you good night. We enjoy answering questions. If you're a long-time listener, you will know that the questions asked literally get, as far as the channel is concerned, some of the greatest responses. So please make sure that you ask questions if you've got anything there that you would like answered. Have an amazing evening or morning wherever you may be. Stay in the high vibration. We do understand that it is a challenge. We're not dismissing this, but we are here to keep your frequency at a high vibration. So understand what stage you are at from our coding tonight. Really, really look into it. And if anyone would like to reach out, contact me, and I'm here to help anybody that requires that reassurance. And we will speak to you tomorrow. Okay, good night.